Hello and welcome back to the Hibs career mode. Today is going to be another live commentary, as you can probably tell. And how far do we get into this episode? I don't know how far we actually get in terms of the season. I think it's like probably mid-March maybe, something like that. But you can see at the start of this episode we kick off against Stoke City, who is probably the highest profile team we've came up against so far. We go against them with what I would say is probably our strongest team, other than maybe one or two players. But I went into this believing this will be a difficult game. We had a really good start though, 15 minutes in, getting a shot off. Wasn't a really good shot, one of Basagog's not so good attempts, but we know what he has in his locker. But yeah, Stoke are a pretty decent team in my opinion. In terms of actual ratings in this game, I would assume that the ratings are a lot higher than us. However, Basagog whips out. Well, it was more about the ball, to be honest. John McGinn. That wasn't even Basagog. It was Admiral Lickman. Can I get racist comments now? The ball though was unbelievable. But John McGinn, how does he see that? And then it just sneaks it past what's his name? Jack Butland. We then get a free kick 10 minutes later, and what a ball this is. It's an incredible cross from Gianni Otas, I believe it was. And Efe Ambrose gets the goal, making it 2-0 25 minutes in. This was, very surprising for me, and if it was a real game, Hibs versus Stoke, with the kind of team that we have compared to them, I don't think you would expect this to happen. 2-0 in the first half. Bascog just running through, and with the kind of form that Lookman is on, you would really expect him to score that. John McGinn keep firing through, and then he eventually gets his own goal. John McGinn is a very good player in this game, I have to admit. From last season, I don't really remember him getting very many stats, and to be fair, he doesn't really get that many goals or assists in this season so far. But there's something about him. It's just the way he passes the ball is just brilliant. Roche ends up breaking through the defence. I tried to aim for the far post, but it went near post. If it went in though, I definitely would have taken that. Would have been 4-0 if that went in. And Stoke were never really in the game up until this moment here. But at this point, it's the 85th minute. It's just the game's falling apart for Stoke, and then they finally get something out of the game in the FA Cup. Although I suppose they've got bigger things to worry about, like the actual Premier League, whereas we have the Championship to worry about. Getting an FA Cup run would be a lot better than winning a Championship for us, probably. But this basically marks the end of the game. Stoke don't really do very much in this game as a whole. They get the one goal, and that ends the game. In the next game, we have Cardiff City, and in this game, again, we basically play a very similar team to the one that we played against Stoke, only there's a couple of changes. It's probably a bit of a more rotated side than it was against Stoke. And 7 minutes in, Cardiff end up going up 1-0. It was something I wasn't expecting again. Two completely different games. Stoke just not putting up the fight that I was expecting them to do, and then Cardiff putting in the fight that I wasn't expecting them to do. And to be fair, they probably did deserve it at this point. I mean, they just passed around us. I couldn't get the ball off them, and Soteldo running up this way, and just before half time, Basagog gets a goal. Incredible ball from Soteldo. He's more of an assist man, I would say. I don't know how he does it. He just finds this pass, cuts right through all the defenders. None of them have a clue what to do, and that ends up in the back of the net. Roche, and this is the second half. Graham gets a shot, and then this shot here, I was positive this was going to just fly into like just the top corner really. They do very well to get the what do you call it? They do very well to get the block in. We end up getting a free kick here with Garcia. And we put about 4 bars of power. And that is exquisite. I don't score free kicks in this game very often, but with this one I could watch it over again and again and again. I believe it was posting in, and considering it was somebody like Aleix Garcia, who he's not very high rated really, 74 rated I think he is. Look at that, just posting in. This is a brilliant angle of it. Keeper wasn't even, it was kind of close to it, to be fair. It wasn't as close as it probably should have been. That was incredible. Then Soteldo running down the wing, finds Roche, and then I thought he was going to miss that, to be honest, but he managed to find the back of the net. 60 minutes in, he's shushing them. I never made him do that, he just did for some reason. You know, 17-year-old cocky French stud person, probably a shagger. But it's a very good find from Soteldo. I think that would make 2 assists for him, and thank God Roche never missed it. Then Soteldo ends up picking the ball up here 10 minutes later and just flew over the bar just a wee tiny bit. If it was a bit lower, then keeper possibly could have had it, possibly could have hit defender, but you never know what can happen in football. This ball, I was really expecting to get something out of this just from that ball, but they did really well to defend here. And again, we just can't get the ball into the box, and that ends the game against Cardiff 3-1. Now, the next game is against Scunthorpe United, who are in relegation battle. This team is again very rotated. A couple of first team players like Gianni Otas, McCall. Not even a goalkeeper's a first team player. Stokes isn't a first team player anymore. McGinn's probably a first team player, but other than that, everybody's more or less rotated. Stokes ends up picking up the ball just at the edge of the box. I was expecting him to get a goal there, and then this again, I was expecting him to get a goal, but just kind of floats a bit wide of the target, sadly. However, if that did go in, then he probably would have started a lot more. They end up pushing the ball up again, and it's Stokes on the end of it, trying to cut back inside, and he does well. It gets it into John McGinn. Can't quite get the pass in. However, Soteldo picks up at the end, and Graham very close to finding the back of the net from the edge of the box, I think that was there. And then nothing really happens in this game other than the second half. Graham picks up the ball about 20 yards out, fires it, hits off a defender, rolls out for a corner. And we decided to bring on Lookman at this point because my strikers weren't really doing much. So John McGinn ends up taking the ball, and then, even though I did say like 5 minutes ago, if even, John McGinn doesn't really get that many goals. He does very well to score there, you know, to break through, because Scunthorpe were in League 1 with us. I mean, they did well to challenge. They did very, very well actually to challenge for the title, and then they ended up eventually winning it. However, we knew we were the better team. I knew we were the better team as well. I mean, just look at the side we've got here. We've got Lookman, John McGinn, who again fires at them, then Gianni Otas. The list goes on and on and on. And this goal, genuinely, I don't understand what happened here, because was it Lookman that was there? He didn't get a touch on the ball. I tried to cross it into him. He just left it, and it just bounced by the keeper. The keeper just didn't bother trying to retrieve it. You'll get a different angle here as well. Everybody goes and celebrates with him. He shoots actually, and then he parries it out wide. I press square for this, and Lookman doesn't get a touch on that. Gianni Otas got the goal. There's another wee angle here. He doesn't touch it. I think he tries to, but doesn't actually get anything, and Gianni Otas gets the goal, making it 2-0 against Scunthorpe at their own ground. I was kind of hoping to get a lot more than that, considering it's Scunthorpe, and I'm pretty sure they're in a relegation battle at this point, and they've spent most of the season down there. And so they should have. I mean, they just got promoted. I know we just got promoted and we are quite close to the top of the table, but hey ho, we beat them 2-0. We are a better team. Our next game was up against West Brom Albion, and again, just playing a sort of. It wasn't a completely rotated team. It's quite far from not being a rotated team. Some first team players weren't there though. People like El Shinawi. However, Lookman completely proved that he's definitely worth being a first team player with this goal. West Brom just couldn't handle him. I don't know what it was. He wasn't giving the ball up. He was definitely scoring this game, and he fucking made sure of it. Just, I don't understand how he does it. He's so good in this game. He can play left mid, can play striker. His finishing's like 71 or 72, and he finds the near post at the top corner. Adamar Lookman picks up the ball again against West Brom, and he stops, finding the shot. This one doesn't really float in the back of the net, but from the previous goal we just seen, we definitely know that he's capable. Efe Ambrose, I really wish that this could have went in, because it was so close. If was it Gianni Otas, I think it was, if he could have got his head on it, then that must have resulted in at least a corner, and then that game ended 1-0. We really wanted to beat them because earlier in the season we faced, and well, it was 0-0. It was like the most disappointing game of the season. However, we made it through to round 5 of the FA Cup. And this is the team we face. We managed to get Chelsea in the FA Cup, and slowly, when you see things like this, you kind of accept your fate. This is the last match of the game. This is the last match of the last match of the episode. Sorry, they're playing a fairly strong team. They're playing 5 at the back to start with. You know, people like Kante, Costa, Victor Moses, Courtois in goal, Grimaldo, who they've signed, Aspilicueta, Bakayoko. You know, they've got a really strong team, and to say the least, again, just wasn't expecting much from this game. We decided, well, I went out with, again, debatably the strongest first team that I've got. People like Lookman, Baskog, Roche, Garcia, Ledley, Gianni Otas. Defence is always, the defence can always be switched around. El Shinawi comes back as well. Lookman, however, finds his way forward. We got off to what I thought was a brilliant start. However, sadly the keeper manages to get that. I was going to shoot, but I didn't think it was a good angle for it, and Roche ends up forcing a save from Courtois. This is only 5 minutes in, and then nothing really happens up until towards the end of the first half. They go up our end, and as soon as we get the ball, we just force our way through. We just make sure we are getting towards their goal. Basagog just keeps pushing and pushing, gets the ball through, and for some reason Lookman leaves that. If he doesn't leave that, then that has got to result in a goal. Although Courtois is fucking incredible in this game. However, Basagog does his thing. How many times have you seen him score a goal like that this season? Quite a few times. He's just the fake shot inside, just completely puts the defender in no man's land, and then that ends up putting the goalkeeper in no man's land. Just look at this. Incredible. Beats Courtois, 6'6" Courtois, I think. He's so good. He's so good in this game. But couldn't do enough to keep out that shot. They find all sorts of space here with Grimaldo. I was expecting people like Hazard to start, to be honest, since he had like half the first team out. Efe Ambrose does really well to keep the ball there, and we just kind of keep passing the ball around to the end of the game, and we actually managed to beat Chelsea. However, next game we get is against Leeds, and that'll be at the start of next episode. If you have enjoyed this episode though, please leave a like, and that'll be much appreciated. There's a couple of live comm episodes to come towards the end of the season. You'll see this team that we're going to put out against Leeds next episode, kind of rotated. But leave a like, subscribe, comment what you would recommend me to do, anything you would want to see. And hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.